parents, teachers, and students. My name is Mr. Brown, and I'm coming live from the Panther Learning Center, and today I have a lesson on subtraction, dealing with the third grade. Today I'm going to teach you different strategies, methods, and approaches on how to deal with subtraction, its problems, its pictures, and everything that has to do with this minus sign. First of all, with subtraction, it has to do with the modeling of addition and subtraction using pictures, words, and numbers. Like I said, we're going to be using different modules such as pictures, word problems, and the numbers themselves on trying to find out how to solve different subtraction problems. First of all, let's find out what subtraction is. Subtraction is finding the difference between two numbers denoted by a minus sign, basically saying removing a part from the whole. It's important when learning subtraction that you look for certain words and key terms that stick out to you to let you know that you are working a subtraction problem. One word is difference. Whenever you see the word difference in a word problem or in the directions, you always know that you're doing subtraction. So if you have a pencil and paper to the side, go ahead and write down the word difference, because that's going to be a word that you're always going to see, and that's going to be quite familiar when it has to do with subtraction. And often throughout the video, you're going to see the different instructions, write down different words that you're going to be quite familiar with when it comes to dealing with subtraction. Okay. Next, I'm going to show you an example problem that you might see when dealing with subtraction. It says, I went to the grocery store with $20 and spent $7. How much change do I have left over? Okay. Most people, they might write it out simply, 20 minus 7 and work out the problem. Some people, they are kind of hands-on, so they might need to draw different pictures or have different objects to, work out subtraction problems or addition problems. But if you're just like me, you have pencil and paper, in my case, chalk and chalkboard, you'll do something simple like this. You can just draw 20 marks 20 times, to represent your total of $20. Sometimes I get a little stuck myself. But first of all, before I even get down to the stage of the problem, first of all, we have to point out, how do we know that this is a subtraction problem? Besides me telling you that it's a subtraction problem, how do you know that it's a subtraction problem? First of all, you have to read the problem over again to yourself. I went to the grocery store with $20. What stands out first? $20, because that's a number. And usually most numbers are, things that you need to solve a problem. And I spent $7. That's a number. That's a number value. How much change do I have left over? Another thing that's important in this problem is how much. Because you want to know the total amount of $20 from $20 that you will have left over. Another important key term is change. Will I have left over? Left over is another key term. So if you're at home just like me, go ahead and write down how much, because that's another key term you're going to need. Another one is left over. You can think about leftover is when you eat dinner and you have food left over. Next, I'm going to show you how to work out word problems that are associated with subtraction. The problem reads, I went to the grocery store with $15. I spent $5. How much change do I have left over? First, we're going to see what stands out to me that lets me know that this problem is a subtraction problem. The first thing that should stick out to you is the word leftover. Leftover basically means that you're taking a portion, we don't know the size, but you're just taking a portion of something from a whole of something. So let's write the word leftover down in our key terms. That's something that we're going to have to, a word that we need to be familiar with by the time this lesson is over. Another thing that stands out to me is how much. How much lets me know that I'm looking for a certain total. I'm looking for how much do I have a certain total. What total do I have from a whole? What total do I have from that whole number? Next, we're going to have to find out what values are we working with. It says I went to the grocery store with $15 and I spent $5. The word spent also lets me know that I gave away something. So that lets me know that this problem is also a subtraction problem as well. So let's set the problem up. We have 15 minus 5. If you sometimes need help with being kind of hands-on, you can always draw pictures, or if you have any models in the classroom or at home, you can use as well. But I'll just use pictures with you. If you draw 15, and it says you spent $5. Each one of these here are fives, which total will be 15. I went to the grocery store and I spent $5. So you can just say this is a $5 bill. How much am I left over with? We said each one of these are 5. So that is 5, 10. If you go over here, you'll take 5 from 5, which will be 0. And since one has no value, since 5 has no place value, we can put a 0 there. 1 minus 0 would be 1, which will give you a total of 10, just as it gave you here on the picture. If you got the same answer at home, then you're right on board with me. In our next portion of the lesson, we're going to have an instructor come up and tell you on how to come at word problems from a different aspect and how to look more into deeper meaning and different terms and different ways to work out math problems where you might have to carry where this value may not always be 0, where this value may be something like it may be a 1 here. What do you do? Or if this value was different and this value was different. So where our next instructor is going to come up and kind of go more into detail on what's going on with those different things.